Guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about how the media, how the access media, digital media is coasting on fumes these days.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot really to talk about, especially with entertainment websites, because there's nothing coming out.
Right. There's no news. I know with Disney, because I do the Disney blog, piratesandprincesses.net. It seems like everybody and their brother systematically, if someone mentions anything that somebody maybe possibly said, that all the blogs, boom, 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 have the articles. We saw it the other day with Pirates of the Caribbean. They all went nuts on this article about like Johnny Depp and Karen Gillan and all this other stuff. And I'm like, this is all news. This is all stuff that's been covered just in the last couple months. Nothing new here. Today, Josh Gad, they interviewed him about Frozen 3, and he gave a total non-answer about, well, it's going to basically depend on if they think there's a need for it, that maybe someday possibly they might do Frozen 3, who the hell knows. And of course, all the blogs are like, oh my God, Josh Gad speaks out on Frozen 3, when he actually really said nothing much about it.
God, they're so thirsty for news. And look, I get it, because what's going on here is because of the shutdown, a lot of entertainment has been put on hold. Mm-hmm. Obviously, movies aren't coming out. TV shows have been put on hold. Theme parks are closed. So what are they going to talk about? But beyond that, the advertising revenue is drying up. It's been catastrophic, especially for digital journalists. Vice and Quartz and a bunch laid off. And then this morning, I did a video about Newsarama. Newsarama became part of this video game site. They just rolled it into a game site. It's basically just a comics tab on another website.
A couple days ago, Newsarama was still there, because I was there for something, and it was 2 days ago.
Yeah, nobody expected it. I don't think. It just happened. Like, they literally just announced it, I think, Friday afternoon, and they flipped the switch this morning, and I think it's because the ad revenue drying up. I think they're like, look, we can't run a whole bunch of different sites here. I completely expect layoffs. I think they're going to have layoffs, but you go out there now, it's just all like top 10 lists. And stuff that's like, they call evergreen content, but basically they go out and look for like search terms, and they try to create an article around a search term, because there really isn't a whole lot of news.
Well, I hope that's not going to be their plan going forward. We're just going to take evergreen things and try to make stories up around
top 10 lists.
Yes.
I don't know. It might be. Now, what's even more shocking, because, Newsarama has been around for like 20 years, maybe even longer than that in various forms, is that apparently their archives aren't up. I think the oldest articles out there are from like April 1st.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So their archives are supposedly gone. Now, they did elaborate. Some folks that work with Lamb Pitts, who works with Newsarama, said that, at their discretion, they could bring them back. So the
well, I would think it'd be dumb and short-sighted to get rid of all of it. They paid for it and everything.
I don't think they care. Because a lot
What's
of that
trending today? Find all our old articles about that.
Well, yeah, but beyond that, it's like, well, that's it. They might just resuscitate and redate some of these old articles. But some of the stuff, is anybody really going to care, unless you're like a major comic book fan, about some news that came out 8 or 10 years ago?
No, you're likely not. Most people aren't going to. But it's just really weird. That's what they chose to do. They're going to choose to go the route of BuzzFeed.
Yeah,
they're gonna fail, because BuzzFeed's doing badly now with their top 10 list. So let's just go do that.
They're
that
all
makes
failing.
Sense.
They're all failing, and there's a lot of things going on here. They were failing before the shutdown. Mm-hmm. A lot of these news outlets, last year was catastrophic for a lot of digital media outlets, because people don't trust the media anymore.
No,
they don't, and they're moving on from blogs. Video has absolutely replaced blogging. Mm-hmm. So people are just watching videos now, or listening to podcasts or whatever, but they're not going out there and reading articles.
Well, I think they want to watch videos, even not from just news. They want to be entertained with that agenda. You know what I mean? I think because more and more shows as of late, which I think are going to change soon, you can't get away from it. Like, there's no just, let's be entertained for being entertained. No. They have to hit you over the head like they think you're dumb and don't understand what's right from wrong, according to them. Every chance they can get on a show. And I think people are getting sick of it, so they're going to go try to find something that's actually just fun, they can watch to have fun.
Yeah, especially especially now with everything going on in the world, people, they want versions. And you go out to, especially today, even all the comic book news sites today, it's all tied into the protests and everything else going on. And, look, I mean, I absolutely get this is going on in the world, but a lot of people are just like, I just want to read something fun. I don't want to be reminded.
Every time I open the paper, turn on the TV, every time I go on the internet, on any social media platform whatsoever, it's constantly there. So I heard people asking that, can you tell me some fun movies I can watch or something else?
Yeah.
Because they're looking for something else to do and not even have to look at this stuff, because you need a break from it every so often.
But even their top 10 lists on these sites are getting kind of political,
Oh, of course it is.
I mean, it's just crazy. You got, comic book resources now. I think Newsarama was the 800-pound gorilla. Newsarama, and now comicbook.com is kind of, I think they're in a totally different weight class. They're owned by CBS too, so I don't know if they're going to go anywhere soon. But Newsarama is a big site. If Newsarama can go under, comic book resources can follow them shortly, and we've noticed some weird stuff going on with comic book resources.
Well, they already have a plethora of top lists, like top 5 reasons for this and top 5 reasons that you won't. They're already built in BuzzFeed type lists. They're good to go.
Top 5 reasons CBR won't live to see 2021.
There you go.
No, I mean, but I've heard from people who have written for CBR that they've actually cut their page rate or their article rates now. So they are cutting, and they weren't paying people very much to begin with. I've heard $5 to $10 an article.
That's,
so
some of these are long articles. I'm just like, man, geez.
And they're, constantly slamming out lists and stuff like that. But again, you kind of look at the news because they're so desperate for news that it's like, let's just regurgitate stuff, buzzwords. Because what's trending right now? Well, HBO Max has Studio Ghibli. And everybody loves a good Harvey Weinstein story, right?
Yeah.
So let's put Harvey Weinstein, Ghibli together, and there we go.
I think other Ghibli stories today. I think it must be a reason. It must be trending somewhere that they're doing Ghibli stuff today. Because I saw a couple, and I could have swore it was all on here, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Now there is news when it comes to comics, but it's bad news, and this is a whole nother video. But again, it's a lot of like old stuff because the comic books are on pause too. A lot of comic books are being pushed back or delayed. A lot of publishers, I think where they're at, it's kind of up in the air. So there's nothing to write about. Now one thing I have noticed though, and in the last couple of videos we've done, there's a little bit of a change in attitude toward fandom.
Well, yeah, because they're realizing that they're not making any money.
Yeah, I've seen some of these sites. I think they were playing this game. I have to wonder. I mean, I do think that some of these journalists legitimately hate fandoms and they legitimately want to antagonize fans, but some of them I think they do it because they're looking for hits, and the more outrageous the article is, the more hits they're gonna get, the more they get paid, because sometimes they get paid a bonus for views on top of their base pay. But the problem is that it's not working anymore because the fandom has seen through it.
Yeah.
And they've turned away from these sites. These sites have declined. Their traffic has declined a lot. I mean, for Newsarama to just become a tab at this point.
Well, plus Hollywood, it seems like they're starting to pivot and head towards where the money is.
Yeah.
And it's not on these agenda-driven platforms that these people have got themselves in on. So a lot of the people that normally are the same old, trying to push platform I've noticed, been trying to take a more neutral stance as of late. So anyway, I was looking at this one title. It's Anthony, by the way. HBO Max's best and worst classic Godzilla movies. I only bring it up because when Squid King saw that there was a whole section of Godzilla movies, he was very, very happy.
Yeah, I did not expect that. I thought they would have the new Godzilla movies, obviously, because they're legendary, but I did not expect them to put the classic movies on.
He was real happy.
Yeah, he was real happy. The only thing I'm unhappy about with HBO Max so far is there's no Roku or Amazon
Yeah,
support. That's
the problem, because we use those for our upstairs, we're in our rooms and stuff. We all have Roku or Amazon sticks, which make it a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, it's just...
Yeah, see, there's another Ghibli, and then there was another one about Miyazaki someplace else. I saw an article. So, like, today it must be trending, so now they're like, hurry, do all the Miyazaki things you can think of. And now they're comparing Aang to Luke.
Because Avatar and Luke Skywalker...
Well, they are very similar.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. They are, and they ruined both of them.
Yeah, so...
a
female-led show came in and kind of, pooped all over them.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, they're very, very thirsty. Now, I don't know if the days of outright attacking fandoms are coming to a close or not, because obviously if they're fighting to survive, and there's no more venture capital, and there's no more advertising revenue, and nobody's going to pay for you to spout off, then you're pretty much going to have to exile yourself to Twitter and spout off.
Isn't venture capital, when you think about it, basically blog socialism?
Yeah, there was a lot of money being thrown around about 5 years ago, and that's where a lot of these sites look. That's where they popped up. A lot of these sites popped up like 5 or 6 years ago because they were being bankrolled by venture capital, and venture capital usually have like a 3 to 5 year plan. If the sites aren't profitable, then you don't get another round of funding. And we've seen these sites that were a big deal, or supposedly a big deal, 4 or 5 years ago, like Vice and Mike and all those, be valued at less than nothing, really. I mean, they're nothing. Tumblr sold for what, $3 million?
Yeah, that's still,
$3
that
million
one still blows my mind. Yeah.
to WordPress. I'm like, Tumblr, I think Yahoo paid almost $1 billion or some bullshit for it.
They get to probably recoup on their taxes as a loss.
That's a huge loss. So look, these sites are basically worthless at this point, and they're running out of money. Advertisers are being more. The other day, I talking about how advertisers are pulling away from TV advertising and they're going all in on video.
Well, even when they were talking about with Bob Chapek about Disney and ESPN and stuff, he even said that that they're heading more. A lot of the advertisers right now are going to digital because of what's going on. But he fully expected that to rebound when people have ESPN and games back on and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's ever going to be the same.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying, of course, he's not going to say, nope, we're SOL, and don't have no faith in us because we're not going to get those advertisers back. He's not going to say that. But if the advertisers are smart, they go places like YouTube.
Well, that's what's going on, and they're kind of going out to individual influencers and blogs now. These news sites, they look kind of like GeoCities did about 10 years ago. Like, people were still using them. MySpace, and that's kind of what's going on here. I think a lot of these blogs, I mean, they're still going to be around. You're still going to have news outlets and media outlets, but there are so many of these pop culture sites, so many of these, new media millennial sites.
What's going to happen is only the strong will survive.
Yeah.
Basically, they'll eat each other until they have some mega sites, and that's what they'll go with.
Well, that's kind of what's going on here with Newsarama, and we saw it before with Gizmodo.
I was going to say Gizmodo, because they have all the little tags at the top, yeah.
Yeah, IO9 used to be its own site, and they were owned by Gizmodo. Now, so many of their brands are basically just tabs on the main Gizmodo site, and that site it took them forever to find a buyer, because it wasn't worth it. So there are going to be a lot of journalists out of work, because one, there's nothing to write about. There's really no news to write about. 2, people are leaving anyway, and 3, the ad money is running out.
Yeah.
So, we could actually be seeing in a roundabout way, the horrible things that have happened this year being sort of like an Uno reverse card being played, and things kind of
reverse.
Well, no, I'm telling you, because I think what's going to happen is going to revert back to individual influencers, more independent voices, because the days of these media outlets being able to control the fandom, plus fans now can see through the bullshit.
Well, I think if you're going to be successful, if you're going to survive, the only way at this point to do so is to completely course correct and go with actual reporting.
Yeah.
And being honest, even if that means that you don't get, little pats and slips from the Hollywood on, here's free tickets, here's, come to our opening, here's a little bit of advertising money, wink, wink, under the table. You have to be honest, and you're going to have to say, look, I smell a rat, here's why, and to start being, honest.
Yeah, I've actually seen, like I said, I've seen some of these sites start to kind of course correct, I guess, in the they might still get their opinions in there, but they're not the scathing hot takes that there were even 6 months ago, because they can't afford to do that.
Right.
They need every advertiser they can get, and if they inadvertently piss the advertisers they have off, or they piss the network off, or the network's like, hey, these journalists are problematic, get rid of them, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to be like, hey, we've been getting a lot of complaints about these people, get rid of them.
Yeah, I don't know, but I did know that I noticed what you're saying, which is there's like a lack of news because everything's shut down, and when there is a little bit of news, everybody and their brother just jumps on it.
Yeah.
And even if it's something like I said, I won't run something again if we've already talked about it, like the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. I've mentioned that was a story I already talked about in 2 different articles when each part of that was news and new. I wasn't going to run the damn thing again, and oh my god, all the Disney blogs were jumping on it and saying the exact same damn thing they said before. And I was like, I'm not doing it. Oh yeah, they're like, every day it's like recipe.
How many recipes do you need? This is the thing. When you're a theme park blog, God, what do you talk about? I mean, you've been doing Pirates and Princesses and you've been doing fine, but that's also bankrolled by other stuff that we do. You know, it's not like it's the only thing that
I'm sorry.
we do.
That's the headline here. Op-ed, why waiting to book a trip to Disney World from the UK is a good idea. You could have just said, why waiting to book a trip to Disney World is a good idea.
Just take that.
Because for most people, I wouldn't go until next year.
No.
You heard it here.
No.
On Inside the Magic.
Yeah, right. So it's just like, everybody's like scraping by, you know, for crumbs. And like you said, it's gonna be Darwinism. It's going to be the reputable news outlets, or the news outlets that diversified are going to be the ones that survive. The ones that still have the fans' backs, still have the readers' backs, they're going to survive.
But that's another site they don't pay jack shit. I'm just saying.
What, Inside the Magic? Yeah, most of these did. Oh, we did the one story. Gosh, I think it was about 6 or 8 months ago, where it came out. Chipping Company was one of these Disney sites. They paid $3 an article.
Is that what that Voldemort was?
$3 an article.
Oh, that's bad.
That is it. But, you know, again, those ad rates are nowhere near where they used to be. Most
and that was then when the ad rates were up.
When they were up, yeah. And actually, I'll be honest, travel advertising is one of the highest paying verticals. You know, travel advertising, gaming, you know, that's why I think they pushed all the comics content over on to Games Radar, because now they can get bigger ad spends. Who's going to advertise on Newsarama? Comic book publishers? They're all flat ass.
Yeah, but
broke.
if it's merged into something else, they might have an advertise that would go across the board.
They'll just do a buy across the whole site.
That's normal, yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, when I saw this one article, Ryan Gosling is the Wolfman. We're not mad about it because what? He's hot and you think he's cute. Why not the Wolf Woman? Why? How sexist is that? Why are we not having a female playing the Wolfman now? As it is, if you've seen some of these women after winter. It gets cold. They don't all shave because they want to stay warm. It's built-in leg warmers. Have you seen some of these women? And I'm saying this as a woman because I've seen some women, and myself sometimes included, come out of winter. We already pre-made to play the wolf woman. I'm just saying that's very sexist of you.
Yeah, there we go, Mary Sue. But yeah, like their top stories, even on the Mary Sue, it's all politics. You know, and it's all rumors, politics, and hot takes. I don't go there
because it just makes my head hurt.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, I don't even understand how the Mary Sue stays in business. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm looking at this, and other than it being, I guess, a charity, maybe the owners got ad revenue or something coming from other sources. I don't see how it's sustainable. It's just a bunch of Tumblr blogs.
Yeah, I don't either.
You know,
they just try to cause as much outrage as they can to get hits.
Yeah, but they're just hot takes. So I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot less of these sites. I think Newsarama was the first of many that will probably get either absorbed or just shut down completely. Before, I mean, even when things were good, Comics Alliance was owned by AOL, and it got shut down. Now they kept the archive.
I was going to say, but AOL isn't really around anymore.
Yeah, it got eaten up by Yahoo. You see how this works? They're all getting eaten up.
That's what I'm saying. They're just going to get eaten until you have a few big ones left. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I don't think any major studios or major companies are going to come knocking and wanting the Mary Sue.
Dude isn't hairy enough to play the Wolfman.
No, he's not really hairy enough to play the Wolfman.
I'm just pointing that out.
He could be. He might use Nair.
Now, J.K. Simmons would make a better Wolfman. If you compare, he's even got the little widow's peak going on. I can see him being a Wolfman.
That's not actually his real hair, though.
No, well, probably not. But I can see him doing it. I can see him playing it. I mean, heck, Robert Downey Jr. and Mark Hamill both have more hair going on.
That's true.
I can see either one of them being more believable.
I could see Robert Downey Jr. going Wolfman.
I could too. I'm just saying.
That'd be kind of fun. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
All right, guys. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens over the next few months. I think we're gonna see a lot of these media outlets fold. I think we are. So keep your resume updated if you work there.
Yeah, I would.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.